Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the first of Aesop's fables. Can you remember what it was called? Had the names of two animals in the title. The lion and the mouse. The strong, big animal and the small, apparently weak animal too. The next story is about another two animals. All of Aesop's stories involve animals, and most of the animals can talk. So I wonder who we're going to meet here. The first animal, once again, is a very small animal that lives with a big family, often deep in the ground. Do you know what he's called? They're often seen carrying things around. He's an ant. And this guy, bit bigger, green, tends to live by himself with long legs so that he can jump and he can also make music. A grasshopper. Well done. This story is called The Ant and the Grasshopper. It was a warm and sunny summer's day. Oh, my favourite. We had lots of beautiful days this summer, didn't we? Just before you started Form 1. There was a grasshopper in a field and he was hopping about, chirping and singing very loudly. Every day he sang, he danced, he played music and he ate to his heart's content. Something I think we would enjoy, wouldn't we? Singing, dancing, playing music, all the things that we actually were enjoying just before Christmas, weren't we? After a morning of singing and dancing, the grasshopper started to feel tired. He lay back on a leaf and he dozed in the sun. Sorry, did I just nod off there? Thank you for shouting me awake. On the ground, though, just beneath the sleeping grasshopper, an ant was hard at work. And you see, what signs are there in the picture that that ant is working really hard? You see anything that might suggest how hard he's working? Yeah, you're right. He's carrying something on his head. And look, there are little bits of sweat coming off his brow. And these words here say, huff, puff, huff, puff, huff, puff. Definitely working very hard indeed. The ant's huffing and puffing awoke the grasshopper, who looked down from his comfy resting place to see what all the noise was about. Why are you working so hard? You should be resting and enjoying yourself like me, the grasshopper said to the ant. I have to work hard. I need to get all my food stored and my nest ready for the winter, the ant replied. Ah, winter isn't for months, the grasshopper said. Come play with me. Oh, I don't have time for playing, the ant said. I have too much to do. You should start collecting food and preparing your home for winter. I don't want to work and be inside on such a beautiful day like this, replied the grasshopper. So the grasshopper kept playing. He sang his songs and he danced in the field. Munch, munch, munch. And he slept in the sun and ate lots of food. The ant continued to work hard, storing food and making his nest as cosy and warm, ready for winter. In no time at all, the sun had disappeared and the weather turned cold. The field became covered in a layer of frosty white snow. Winter had arrived. Oh, how do you think the grasshopper is feeling about that? I think he does look cold. He's definitely got a little bit of a sad face on as well, hasn't he? I'd say he's in the blue zone, quite literally in the blue zone. However, the ant, he was prepared for winter. While the snowflakes fell outside, a fire crackled inside his little nest, and he had enough food to see him through all the cold winter months ahead. Because this is the problem, isn't it? And you'll know from what you've done outside, I'm sure, this holidays, that the winter can be a beautiful time, but not much grows in the winter, which is why animals need to stock up for winter, either in eating lots and lots and lots or storing some food that they can eat when all the rest of the food is gone. It's exactly what the ant has done. Very wise ant. The grasshopper searched for the food, but he couldn't find any, and he was so hungry. And he had no shelter from the falling snow or the biting winter wind. The grasshopper remembered the ant that he had met in the summer, and he knocked on the door and asked him if he had any spare food. "Ah," said the ant, "why don't you have any food of your own? Did you not store anything in the summer? What were you doing?" I was singing and eating and no, I didn't do any work at all," said the grasshopper. The grasshopper looked truly sorry, and he promised the ant he would work hard next summer and store his own food. He was a little ashamed. It means when you feel really bad that you should have done something, or perhaps sometimes that you shouldn't have done something. So the ant gave him as much food as he could spare. It was just enough to see the grasshopper through the winter, but it was a miserable few months for him. And the next summer, the grasshopper was good as his word. He worked hard to store enough food for himself. The grasshopper even found time to help the ant, to make up for his bad behaviour and to thank him. So next winter, the grasshopper didn't go hungry. He'd learnt his lesson. He now worked and played. There is a time for work and a time for playing. That's certainly true of while we're spending all this time at home, isn't there? Playing is so important, but sometimes mummies and daddies have to work, don't they? Have you seen them on their phones a lot, talking, or maybe on their computers, or maybe doing lots of video calls where you can see lots of people in their screen? Certainly true, there is a time to work and a time to play. And sometimes while you're at home, you have your work to do too, with us, with Mrs. Young, Mr. Spiden and I, on Seesaw, or in watching our videos. So I hope you enjoyed that story of the ant and the grasshopper. I wonder, how well were you listening to that story? Can you tell me one thing that the grasshopper was doing at the start of the story? What was it in the summer that he really loved to do? Can you remember? I likened it to what we've done in Form 1, what we enjoy doing. Can you remember anything? Something the grasshopper liked to do? He liked to sing. Ah! He liked to hop around. He liked to chirrup, chirrup, chirrup. And he liked to dance. La, la, la. Now, meanwhile, what was the ant doing lots of? Can you remember? The ant was working hard. But what was she working hard to do? That's it, collecting food for winter, because she knew that there wouldn't be a lot of food around in the winter. And finally, can you remember? How did the grasshopper feel when winter finally arrived? Was he happy in the green zone, or was he in the blue zone? Definitely the blue zone. But this story is also about kindness, isn't it? The ant was kind. She gave the grasshopper some of the food that she had collected. And come the next winter, the grasshopper was kind back in helping her get extra food to make up for his bad behaviour last winter. I hope you enjoyed that story. I've got a few different little activities that you can do alongside this story, and you can find them next to this video, back in the activity and seesaw. I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.